Hello there guys, my name is MrYorkiesWorld, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we've got something quite exciting. We're going to be heading over to Disneyland in Orlando, Florida, and we're going to be taking a look and see what everything looks like in the simulator. So we're going to be departing and arriving at the same airport. You can see I've got a nice little route set up here, VFR route, GPS to be perfectly exact, and we're going to be departing from Orlando International, Kilo Mike Charlie Oscar, which is one of the handcrafted airports. So we'll see what that looks like. We'll have a bit of an exploration into that. And we're also going to be taking a look at some of the other points that I've put here on little nav maps. So for example, I've set some custom ones up. We can see in the simulator we've already got Universal Studios there. I've not set the route to take us directly to it, because obviously we want to be sort of to the side of it so that we can see everything out of the right hand side of the aircraft, out of the right window. Essentially it's going to be about 17 minutes, this flight, but it's going to allow us to see a variety of different things. So for example, we have, let me just go over here and have a look. What's the waypoint that we've got here? So Universal Orlando Resort is the first thing that we're going to see. Next up, we've got, if it actually loads, the Disney's Contemporary Resort. We've then got Disney Hollywood Studios. And after that we have the Celebration Golf Club. And actually we've got another one here, Falcons Fire Golf Course as well. So they're the different sort of things that we've got to see on this route. So it's going to be pretty interesting. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump in. I've set the time to 25 past 8 in the morning. The flight conditions are going to be just a few clouds, and we're going to jump straight in. Right, okay, so here we are on the ground. You can see we are at runway 36, I believe, unless there's a 36 right. There we go, in the gorgeous Cessna 172. Look at that. Straight away as we get started there. So I've got the aircraft set up for a nice departure, so I'm going to release the parking brake. Very, very excited in this video to see what sort of the area of Orlando, Florida looks like. And specifically if Disneyland and, you know, places like that have actually been correctly modelled within the simulator. So the flight director's telling me to lift the nose, so I'm going to do that. There we go, nice gentle rotation. We will do a little bit of hand flying as well, see if we can get everything right. Probably won't be able to, but there we go. And I'm going to zoom out just on little nav map just so we can get a good view of where we need to be. But we've got the GPS display there as well that shows us what we need to be doing and where we need to be. Keeping up the climb, trying not to lose too much airspeed. But this looks amazing. And we'll have a look at the actual airport scenery when we land. So let's throw in the autopilot, because I actually want to see what things look like. And the only real way we're going to do that is if we've got the autopilot. The scenery just looks absolutely amazing, doesn't it? Again, this is one of the handcrafted airports, so we'll be able to see up close and personal all the little details of what the airport actually looks like. But for now at least you can see that we are on that GPS sort of track here. Getting about 50 FPS really, so it's doing pretty well. I'm happy with it, very, very happy with it indeed. And as ever, I've got the trusty Xbox One remote, so we can take a look around and do stuff. Look at that, look at all that traffic on the roads. Lovely sunshine view there. Beautiful. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see when we fly past. Like I said, the first waypoint that we've got is going to be Universal Orlando Resort. And that's dead in front of us, actually. So it shouldn't be too difficult to spot. But look at this for a view. For a view, absolutely fantastic. So let's get back into the cockpit. Just going to reduce that speed down a little bit because I don't want to be going too fast. And again, I've set the first waypoint up not to actually see, or should I say go over the waypoint itself, or the area that we need to be seeing, but actually to go near it so that we can still see it. But it's looking really nice, actually. And I will be very, very interested to see if everything's been modelled as it should be. Obviously that might be slightly difficult to do. But nevertheless, we'll still take a look. So there's Universal on the GPS, we can see it there. It's good that when you actually save these flight plans in Little Nav Map, it also saves the custom name for what you've put it as. And you can see a little glimpse over here as we approach it. And hopefully this flight plan will allow us to see things close enough. But if not, we can always edit it and take out the autopilot. Sometimes I like to synchronize it to the current heading and just sort of turn off a little bit so that we can actually see the detail. And again, I'm trapped by the confines of the cockpit. The camera won't allow me to do what chase plane would, which is get a bit closer, because I can't actually go any further than this. A lot of pop in. I mean, look at that. We're actually seeing traffic that's not doing what it should be there. But that's the Universal Orlando Resort. And I will try to do some cinematics at some stage of this, whether it be this video or maybe we'll take a look in another video. But there it is, still loading in. I've pre-cached this, by the way, and sometimes it doesn't always work as expected. So let's go back into nav. That's going to take us where we need to be. You can see I didn't see a lot of detail there, but again, we'll probably see more detail as we take a closer look in a future video. Maybe I should have set the altitude to 1000. I think I'll do that actually. We'll drop the altitude a little bit because vertical speed, let's go nose down. So maybe that'll help us to see things a little bit closer up. And the next waypoint we're going to be going to is Disney's Contemporary Resort, which should show up on the GPS here, on the Garmin. Or they're both Garmins, but you know what I mean. But if we take a look down here, there we go, Disney's Co, because obviously it shortens it. But that's going to be on our right hand side. And I've tried to look on sort of Google Maps, Bing Maps and things like that to get the exact GPS coordinates of these locations. And then I've set the waypoints just a little bit off so that we can get a good view. I'm actually going to drop down the altitude even more. We'll go to 500 feet. And we'll synchronise the heading, turn heading select on, and we'll just take a better look, or a closer look at this. So this is the contemporary resort. Maybe that is on the left hand side. We've got a bit of stuttering happening and a bit of lag, but there we go. These sorts of things can be expected, especially at this height, this altitude. But the performance is not too bad, considering. I think what I might do is, on the way back, we'll take a closer look at Disney, at the actual Universal Studios. But look at this. This is an experience. Never been here in real life, obviously. Not sure what's happening there. I'm not sure whether that's realistic or not with that. Is it a road or a roller coaster? I've got no idea. But here we go. Look at this. This is very detailed. That looks quite decent. Not sure what's going on with those trees. They look a bit out of place. Okay, so let's change the heading. And there we go. Head to the south now. And again, the stuttering always tends to get worse when you're actually making turns at all in the simulator, which is a shame, but... So the next thing on the list should be the Disney Hollywood Studios. And they should actually be to the left of the aircraft, so we should see them to the left. The sun's sort of in the way. We should see them over there somewhere. But I just can't get over how much detail there actually is in this particular simulator. Really cannot get over it. So it looks like this could be it. It says that we're going past it now. The Hollywood Studios. Look at that. Again, some weird trees going on. Not sure whether they're realistic or not. They don't look it. And the Celebration Golf Course should be the next thing on the list. That is just beautiful though, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. So this looks like it could be the golf course in question. Potentially, or part of it at least. The trees really look weird. They look like sort of triangle shapes and sort of growing out of the ground in weird ways. That's definitely something that needs to be looked at. No, I think the golf course is this. Because that could be a golf course, but the way that it's set the actual waypoints up, it's not 100% by the looks of it. There we go, the trees are popping in. Very unusual, because I've done this before, this flight, and it's sort of... Here we go, this looks more promising. Those weird trees, they look like gravestones, it's really strange. Not sure why that's happening. Right, so let's go back and see what nav mode will do to us. If it's going to allow us to actually get on the right path. The Celebration Golf Course. Look at this. Obviously this is not the golf course, I don't think, but still. So this is an issue. Obviously we've got a lot of sort of popping in, even though we've got the rolling cache set up. And set up in the way that it should be set up. Just an example, it doesn't always seem to resolve the issue of stuttering, and it also doesn't seem to always resolve the issue of popping in. Some of these issues I didn't actually have with the preview builds and the alpha and beta builds, so it's definitely something that's come into the simulator since whatever has been done has been done. But there we go. So we should be coming in at some point now. The next little waypoint that I've set up, which is the Falcon's Fire Golf Course. There we go, that looks like a golf course. See, the coordinates that I've used, they don't seem to be working, even though it's copied directly from Bing Maps. Or it might be because I'm using different nav data. I'm using E3D's nav data for a little nav map instead of, obviously, FS 2020. But still, regardless, if I've got it wrong, I've got it wrong, all these different areas, but Orlando looks nice. Overall, it looks nice, that's all we can say. And the wind is favouring us. Let me just take a look at our arrival, what we're going to do in terms of the arrival. As we're heading towards KMCO. So we'll go for a 3-5 right, which I believe is where we departed. We'll go for 3-5 right, and for that I'm going to have to go into heading select. I'm just going to select a heading that will set us up on a sort of a decent course for that. But look at the detail at this, look at this. That doesn't look too good, but from a distance it would. But I think those sort of gravestones / pillars that are supposed to be trees or whatever, that they need to be sorted out. Because that just ruins the immersion for me, really. Just going to adjust a little bit. Just to make sure we've got a decent approach set up. A 3-5 right. Increase that speed again now. We're at 500 feet, so we're going to stick at 500 feet. lorry randomly turning in the middle of a field. Now there was another airfield that we could have landed at, which is over there somewhere, and that would have been, let me just take a look if it allows me to actually, is it the Kissimmee Gateway? And that doesn't mean I want people to kiss me either. What a weird name. Let's reduce the speed down a little bit. And it looks as if the Xbox controller has disconnected, and I don't want to reconnect it because every time you reconnect the Xbox controller to the simulator, it actually crashes the simulator. So we'll have to reload the simulator and do the cinematics afterwards, which is not a problem. I can quite easily edit it into the same video, but we can still use the external camera. There we go. How amazing does this look? Again, I didn't want to go for anything like too serious in terms of clouds, because we're supposed to be VFR and we can't really do VFR if we can't see anything. Hence the name Visual Flight Rules. So once we get a little bit closer to the runway, we will be turning left to 360 to try and line ourselves up with runway 35 right. The speed's looking good, I'm happy with that. Just going to check the barrel. Yeah, that's still set correctly. But let me know, guys, what you think. I'm not sure whether my coordinates were slightly off, but I tried to copy them from Bing Maps directly into little nav map, which usually works. In fact, I think in the end I actually used Google Maps to get the correct coordinates that little nav map would actually understand. So they only understand certain formats, or it only understands certain formats. So pretty soon we're going to see the airport. I can see the tower over there already. We're just about to cross over the threshold. Not the threshold, or the ILS feathers. Runway 36 right. We need 35 right. It may have been 36 right that we departed from. I actually can't remember. But the wind's favouring us anyway, so we should be okay. Not following any particular rules today. But apart from the performance issues, which I wouldn't really class as performance issues, because we're still like, we've not dropped below 40 FPS really. Going to reduce down on that speed. I might even take flap 1 just to help us slow down a little bit. And I'm going to get ready for that turn, so synchronise the current heading. Even though we're actually on heading select anyway, so it doesn't matter. But the scenery is actually quite beautiful. Crossing over the 3-5 left ILS feathers now. You can see the runways over there. So here we go. Left 360 if it'll do it. There we go. With a little bit more just to compensate. And we are a little bit to the right now actually, so we want to just correct that. And again, we're at 500 feet, so I can sort of disconnect as soon as we can see the runway sort of close up. Really enjoyed this. We've got some more of those weird shaped trees at the moment, which is strange. But nevertheless. Slightly correcting on the heading there, because I want to be lined up correctly with the centre line of the runway. And I'm actually going to take control of the aircraft now. Line myself up, there we go. Looking a bit better. Second notch of flaps. And I'm going to trim. Didn't really want to climb, but it looks as if we did. But just look at this. Try and get back down to 500 feet. And we'll take that last notch of flaps as soon as we start to see the pappies. Because at the moment we look a little bit too low. I'm staying at 500, trying to stay at 500. Even though it's dropping, there we go. Let's try and stay at the right altitude until we see 2 reds and 2 whites. There we go, and last notch of flaps now. Trim. .50 FPS, not bad at all. A little bit high. There we go. Just reducing now. And idle. Just going to try and let the aircraft drop out of the sky. There we go. Touchdown. Welcome once again, everybody, to Orlando. Now, where's the nearest turn-off? Can we increase the range? Yes, we can. So we've missed the first turn-off. That's okay. I'm going to lift up those flaps. Not that you can see, because that's a wrong angle, but there we go. And we're going to take this next exit to the left. And then what I'm going to do is, looks as if I'm going to have to restart the simulator just to connect the Xbox controller, unless I can get it to work. But nevertheless, I will skip to that bit because I'm either going to have to restart, or it might work if I try to connect the controller again. So bear with me a second, guys. I'll be right back. Right, okay, so the good news is we've managed to get the Xbox controller working without having to come out of the simulator, so that's good. So let's take a look then at this particular airport. There we go. I knew we'd taken off from a different runway. Doesn't matter though. This is a handcrafted airport. I'm going to go all the way over here. Look at this. Look how amazing this looks. So detailed. We've got the parking lot there. Although this doesn't look too good. Even from like this height, you can see that it's very, very blurry. Not perfect. Maybe it can be improved on by a third party or by a Sobo. We don't have any particular vehicles parked on any of the levels. In fact, the levels aren't actually that detailed either. The flooring. Look at that, up close. Look at the detail on that. This looks absolutely insane. I mean, I know it's blurry when you look at it like that, but obviously, I think it's gonna be, isn't it? Because you're that close. These are the vehicles. They seem to be sort of slightly hovering. We've got the terminal, or one of the terminal buildings. We've got some cranes there as well. Solar panels, by the looks of it, as well. But no, they're not solar panels. That's my eyes failing me again. That's a bit strange. We've got some weird textures going on. Maybe some overlapping. But like I said, this is a sort of a default handcrafted airport, so you can't expect the world. This is where third parties come in. Let's see how detailed this is. Up close, so we can see pretty good detail, really. Looks as if you can... there's a bit of an illusion of potentially being able to see inside. Obviously inside there's nothing, but yeah. That's a nice view. Very nice view. And this is one of the joys of the simulator, being able to... I mean, it's so big, I mean, I'd probably have to... Oh, it does move, look at that! Like the train actually moves. That's cool. They all move. Wow. That is really cool. And obviously moving on to the apron and everything. Looks pretty detailed. Even up close, if we zoom in, or if we get closer, everything looks pretty high quality. Again, I wouldn't say it's payware quality, really. It's not that good. But it's definitely better than any stock sort of quality that we've ever had in the past. I mean, just look how large it is as well, considering the fact that we were still getting like between 40 and 50 FPS at this airport inside the virtual cockpit. Be interesting to see what it's going to look like when we get PMDG and Aerosoft and things like that involved. But I'm very impressed. I just wish that we could have some performance fixes for the simulator, which hopefully we will have very, very shortly. But looking good. So this is KMCO, Orlando. Got some trees there as well, the palm trees. Look to have been handcrafted as well. Looking good. So this is Orlando. We've taken a look around some of the Disney resorts, or what we can see of them. I'll probably take a closer look at some stage in the near future. But that is it. That is a short VFR from and to Orlando KMCO in the Cessna 172. Hope you enjoyed. Leave me a comment if you have any suggestions. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.